This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, Bala. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you're able to hear me?
Yeah, Bala, please.
Yeah. Let's let the data source be all employees. All employees. That's fine. All employees would be better.
So all active or all?
Say all active employees. That's fine.
Okay.
And just go to your columns tab.
Yes.
Yeah, just okay. Choose from an employee. Choose from where. I mean, where is your business object? Yeah.
The employee. Then make it advanced, right?
Yeah, yeah, advanced only. I think you did not create advanced one.
Okay, give me a second.
Advanced and all employee. Yeah. Eh, where is your business object, man? Yeah.
Here, Bala.
Go to left.
Yeah.
Where is the business object? I don't see a business object there.
Here. See.
Where?
This is the business object, right?
I'm not able to see the business. Okay. I'm not able to see the column business object column. Why not for some reason? Okay. Choose employee as a business object.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
What are you seeing right now?
I'm able to see the screen, but yeah,
So if you
I'm able to
see,
see now. Okay.
it
I
is
see a business object.
format options and business object.
Right. Business object, and choose a column called some column from employee business object. Choose some column.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, go to the business object. Look for the last base pay increase. last base pay increase. Okay, this last base pay increase, right? It is not a RBO, right?
It's a field.
It's a field. It's a field in employee business object, right?
Yeah,
And it is a single instance or multiple instance.
it's a single instance.
Okay, so this is, and you can choose any field from the single instance, right?
Yeah, anything multi-instance, single instance, you can choose anything.
The single instance has got lot of columns, right? This
No,
instance,
I'm
okay.
not
Now,
getting.
no, you
What is the
selected the
question?
no 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 no. You selected the last pay increase in the field. I want you to select the last base pay increase in the BO.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I select the last base pay increase in under BO, I'm not again the last base pay increase is not an RBO, right? It is a single instance of the employee PBO, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what column do you select from there? You
You
can
can choose
select
any column which is available.
which is
So now
available from.
under this field, these are the columns which you can select. These are all columns you can select.
Okay. So what I'm trying to ask you here is, I have a PBO, and that PBO contains regular fields like the first name, last name. It can contain a single instance field, or it can contain multiple instance field, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a PBO contains a single instance field, that single instance field can come in the BO side. If it
Okay.
can, if it is it right or wrong?
Yeah, it can.
It can. So in the business object in the business object we can select a PBO guy, or a single instance or multiple instance of a PBO, or you can select an RBO, and or RBO or RBO. Suppose if RBO contains a single instance or multiple instance, even that can be selected in the BO side.
No. Inside the data dependent, if there is any, you cannot choose it. Because you can either choose a primary business object or the dependent business objects. So primary business object, their fields, and the dependent business object. That's it.
So you cannot even select the RBO's single instance or multiple instance.
No, no, no.
No.
See, as I told you yesterday, as well what I was saying, so the concept is pretty much straightforward. That is, the primary business object, their fields, like what are the fields that are tied up with the primary business object, that thing, the primary business object, and the business objects which are related to the PBO. That's it. Further, in the dependent object, what can be the fields? You cannot choose it in the business object section. You can choose it in the field section because you have changed the business object to the related business object.
Mm, 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 mm. So, if what is the effect of choosing? What is the effect of choosing one related business object in the business object side, and selecting a field which is happen to be a multi-instance field or single instance field? What is the effect of that?
So there is no such effect. The only reason being that the XML become bit complex. Reason being that further tags will be added, inside tags will also be added. That's the first thing. Second is it is not I mean there's no such bigger impact, but it's always good that you bring your fields onto the primary business object level, so that you can use it as a filter, so you can use it as any condition rather than just directly. So there's no such big effect. You can use it anytime you want.
So if you XML, I understood. So suppose if you see as the report output, suppose if you select RBO and one multiple instance from an RBO, so if you see the corresponding instance in the report, you'll see all the information from that multiple instance in one single instance, right? Like a nested.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Now, suppose if I choose an RBO, right, in the business object
Okay.
field, and
Okay.
in the column I'm selecting a multiple instance field of an RBO.
Okay.
So when I try to run this report, right? When I
Yeah.
try to run this report, so a row will have an RBO. You have a primary PBO row will be there, and you have an RBO row will be there. In the one particular RBO row, one particular column is a multi-instance, right? So you'll see multiple rows there.
Yeah. But that is like inside the main row. Just
Inside the
for the
main row.
tabular, just
Inside the
for the
main row.
tabular,
Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it, man. I got it.
right?
Okay.
So any other question?
Arun, I have a question.
Yeah.
I think it's related to Bala's question, what you were explaining. Can we consider business object as compared to like a table in RDBMS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, taking Bala's example, that last pay increase is a field which belongs to the employee PBO,
Okay.
right? Now,
Yeah.
that other business object over there, when we select that for last pay increase, the same field is not coming up when we are trying to select the field over here.
Yeah.
In the when we are trying to add a field on the report for last pay increase,
Yeah.
so it's not. So two things. One is you just add the field last pay increase, and by default, the business objects defaults to employee.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, if I'm updating the PBO as last pay increase, and I want the same field to be selected from that PBO, I'm not getting that when I'm trying to add a field there.
Okay.
So I think my understanding is not right, probably, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Not 100%. I mean, I am not. I'm not getting like what is the confusion.
So for me, the confusion is when we say business objects are separate from report fields.
Okay. So
So
that
when
is
I
what I'm
say
saying. Yeah. So don't just go. It's not something like which is a Bible that if I say only business object, then only business object can be added. Just don't go by this clear statement that only business object can be added. It is more like through this custom report you can choose all those instance fields. I mean all those fields which are like instances for which there can be further sub values for those instances. So then you can specifically choose that report field in the business object and extract the values of that particular instance which you are using as a business object. So it can be used. That's it. It's pretty much straightforward, and that is the flexibility which Workday has given. So that's it. So I mean, it has nothing to do that why we can add in here when only business object can be added. Getting it?
Yeah. Hey, so let me summarize this, man. Okay, for all of us,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just writing is a writing on a rock, right? So when you
Yeah.
a particular business object can have regular fields. Seema, correct me if I'm wrong, Seema. That is what you want to. A business
Hmm.
object contains regular fields like first name, last name, gender, join date, and all those things. It can contain an object, which object could be a single instance, multiple instance, or self-reference. Arun, is it right, Arun?
Yeah, yeah, Bala.
Okay. Suppose if one particular business object, for example, employee business object, happen to be a PBO, understood? Happen to be PBO. So when you go to the columns, you select the business object as employee, or you can select any RBOs related to employee. Am I right? My first point.
Yeah,
Okay, that is a regular normal case. Second case is you can select your PBO as a business object in the columns. Plus, if the PBO contains any single instance, that single instance can be a BO in the columns. Am I right?
not in the business object. That's what I'm saying. For RBOs, only the RBO can be added in the field section, not the
Okay.
fields of the RBO can be added in the
No,
business
no, no, no.
object,
I'm
right?
not talking about RBO. I'm not talking about RBO. I'm talking about
For
PBO.
PBO, yes. For PBO, yes, you can.
Yes, for if a PBO in the business object column, a PBO can come, an RBO can come, or a PBO single instance can come, or a PBO multiple instance can come,
Correct.
or a PBO self-reference can come.
Correct.
RBO means RBO only can come. RBO single instance cannot come. RBO's multi-instance cannot come. RBO self-reference cannot come, right? And RB
Correct.
and RBOs of an RBO can come using the calculated fields.
Yeah.
That is the only two level. After that, you cannot bring RBOs of RBOs of RBOs.
Correct.
Okay, this is Sima. Is it clear, Sima? Now,
Uh, yeah, I mean 80%. Just one final question, and I won't ask any more questions on this. Um, so, if I'm selecting the same field, last pay increase in the field column, so my
Okay.
business objects gets defaulted to employee, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, in what case, let's say, would I be selecting the business object as last pay increase? Like what kind of information I need to display on the report to select that business object, or what fields would I want there?
Yeah.
So
so
that's my question.
Sima, if you
Hmm.
select the
Okay.
single instance in the field section, okay, you need to
No,
understand
no,
the
I'm not selecting anything in the field.
uh,
So usually when we create a report, what do? We select the fields only, right? We are not going to business object. We are just selecting and adding the fields. Business
yeah,
object column is automatically getting populated based on what fields we are selecting.
right,
Correct?
right, right.
Okay. So in order to clear my confusion, I just wanted to know that when we are adding last pay increase in the field, automatically the business object displays employee, right?
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
in what case should I add the business object as last pay increase? Like what fields can I add if I select the last pay increase as business object?
Okay,
Uh,
I,
okay.
I
I
just
tell
wanted to understand the difference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tell you. So now let's say last, what was the name? Last
Pay
pay
increase.
change. Pay.
Last pay increase.
last basic pay increase.
It's so now. Let me show you. Let's not add this. I'll just show you what all fields you can add it directly. So let's just say that we are using the field as last base pay increase.
So
Okay. Now if you see when I had chosen this field as a field, this is the instance I'm getting in, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Now if I open this instance, all the things if you see here, all the things, right? These all fields you can choose if you choose this field as a business object. Getting it? So
All the fields as in the
now,
whatever we are seeing.
like overall stats, status, due date, employee, position, effective date, the next pay period, all the fields which is needed. Now I want to tell you what exactly is happening. So see, this particular thing what I have clicked on compensation change is an instance, right? Instance contains so many fields within itself, correct? So
Hmm.
once you choose this instance as your primary business object, or once you choose this particular field as your primary business object in
Hmm.
custom report, then
Hmm.
inside this instance, whatever fields which are there for Workday, which are used
Hmm.
for reporting perspective, you can use that in your field section,
So
right?
Seema,
So now,
he
Oh,
made a
okay.
he made a very important point. Arun made a very important point, Seema. When you
Yeah, yeah,
say
yeah.
when you say instance, that instance is nothing but a collection of field,
Right.
right? Single instance means only one row but multiple fields.
Hmm.
When you say multiple instance, it is contains multiple rows, multiple columns.
Multiple
Okay.
columns. Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
since that particular field is a single instance field, that field itself has got multiple fields.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
correct.
So
Yeah.
if I treat that single instance as a BO, still I have an opportunity to choose a field out of that field, right?
Out of that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the reason.
This
That's the reason.
example was very clear, Arun. And
Right?
yeah, Bala, thanks for that explanation also. Yeah, and this
So
is very clear now.
I hope that would have cleared it out. Right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any other questions?
I have a question on EIB, Arun. Sorry, core connector.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, yesterday we ran the full file report. I was trying to change the date range.
Okay.
So I forgot where if I had added the date range. Was that integration parameter or because I was not able to
Uh,
get that
your integration name was
integration.
integration
It's
system,
integration
right?
system SC, but when I search for it, it doesn't come up over there. I don't know why. Okay, integration. Yeah, integration system above.
So now when you launch this integration, go to integration, go to launch, click OK. Here are the date ranges,
Oh,
right?
okay, 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 okay.
So last would be like last month or whatever last time you want, and this would be like your current date.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Arun, thanks.
Okay.
Got it. Hmm.
So did you all get the videos yesterday?
I didn't check
No,
Arun actually.
no, Arun,
No.
no, no.
Not yet. Okay. But anyways, so so I'll start with the core connector again because this
Sure.
Aruna on that day. To start with again, so that you all guys have a clear picture. So again, as I told that core connector is something. So you had an idea yesterday when we talked about the core connector, right? Bala? So I'll tell you now how this integration system is built and how we create the integration. So here, if you see, there are a lot many templates. I'll just go by the cat. There are a lot many. So connect for benefits, connect for financials, connect for HCM, connect for payroll, connect for student, connect for third party, everything there. So that you can choose any of those. So if you want to create a core connector for benefits, you go for the Cloud Connect for benefits and choose it for a vendor like for ADP, for anybody. And then suppose if you want to choose it for like if you want to extract the worker data, so you can choose in core connector.
So Arun, the core connectors are provided by Workday, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And the data source is also provided by Workday, right? So is it possible that we can
everything.
create, okay, is it possible that we can create our own data source, our own
No,
core, huh?
no,
No way?
no. That's why I'm
Okay.
saying that this is totally a template for which everything has been created by Workday. Just can choose the fields of those templates, right?
Okay.
So suppose if I have to extract the worker data, I can choose core connector worker. Let's take another example. Suppose if I have to choose job profile data, I can choose core connector job profile. You'll see core connector job profile, core connector job everything for everything there is a core connector which is being created by Workday. If your
Right.
task can be done by if your task can be done by core connectors, you don't need to create any AIB or custom.
Right. Let me ask the question, man. I don't think I'm jumping. I just want to have a clarity before we start, right? Uh, See, the
Sure.
core connectors, in a way, it is again going back and getting the information from only the business objects, right? I mean,
Correct.
they
Correct.
are
So
giving
for
some kind
this,
of a
for this,
wrap.
for this,
They are
you
give
can say that worker business object and then further related business objects.
yes. So they are giving some kind of a wrapper around the business objects. The core connectors are. Right? So assume that I created a calculated field on a
Yeah.
particular business object. Okay. So
Correct.
when I use this core characters, the calculated fields which I created would also be available here.
Yes, it will be.
Okay, that's all, man. Okay.
Right. Okay. So now if you click OK, as I told that here we can choose in the sections. So you remember, right? We had chosen the related data section, related person data section. Now coming to your question that whether we can add any of those. So I'll just choose some data section and I'll proceed further. So till this point, is that clear, right? When we choose any section, we can choose the fields from that. Correct? So I'm just taking the
Yes, Arun.
personal data section. I'm just taking the personal data section. So I'll just choose few fields and then I'll add in those things. So the first step, as soon as you choose the integration system, as you choose the template, and then as you choose the sections, the first thing you have to do is like basic mandatory setup before you create this integration completely. Is like just see this is the flow. This is the flow how you have to keep configuring your core connectors. Just go by the flow. The first mandatory step whenever you create any core connectors in the integration system, go to the integration attributes, and here you just have to put in a few mandatory fields. So like what will be the output file name if you want to give in like by default there is some output file name if you see here. uh, if I just add in, so I can just put in any file name, let's say test.xml. So typically core connectors output are always being in the XML format only. So we'll choose put the file name. Second mandatory thing, if you see version, it is required for the launch. So you just choose the latest version which is there, and the rest all things are automatically by default populated, so you don't have to worry about it. When you click OK, we did the initial setup. So now if you see the error is also gone. Until then, those are the two things which are mandatory, that you put in the file name as well as you put in the version. Once we have configured this, now we can choose what are the fields we want in our output file. So let's say the second step which I have to do now is go to the integration system. We have configured the attributes. Now we'll go for the fields. Just like in the reports, we add in the fields. Here also we go to the field section and choose like what field you want, like middle name, last name,
So Arun,
let's
you
say
cannot
first
use
name.
the core connectors in the report.
No.
Why, man? It should be easy, right? If they give that. Hmm.
Why you have to create a report then when everything can be created here?
No, no, no. What I'm asking is, can I create a report instead of basing on data source and the business objects? Can I create a report based on a core connectors?
No, that's what I'm saying. Core connector is itself a report. So right now you are creating a report, but just by indirect way. Like in the custom reports, you choose a business object, then you choose a field. Here, everything is chosen. You just have to select it. That's it. So in a sense, you're
Okay.
only creating a custom.
That's
Okay.
what Bala is saying. That this will be easy to understand, Varun. I think so.
No, if you're using a core connector, the output can be only sent as an XML, right? Can I view as a
Yes.
report like how you view the reports?
No, it will always be XML.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
So I choose the fields whichever I need. I click OK. Now I'll tell you how to add your calculated field as well in your custom report. So now
Hmm.
what happens in core connectors is that there are predefined fields, there are predefined sections. So you select the sections and then you select the field. But suppose there is something which you want to change, or like maybe like the date format, correct? So there's a change in the date, like birth date format. You want to change it from YY to YYMMP, something like that. And for that, suppose you have created a calculator. So what you have to do is go to the integration system. Go to the configure integration services, and here you can put in any field override service. What I'll do is I'll just create I'll create an integration field override service. Now what I'm doing here, what is happening is Workday has predefined fields, right? You just choose the field in the field section. When I go for the field attributes, I choose like first name, last name, everything I do, right? What happens is Workday gives as a core connector, Workday has given us a flexibility that you can override any field which is there in the core connector. You can override and add your calculated fields in this particular integration. Okay, so how do you do that? Just click on create a field override service, put in any or like put in any name, let's say test underscore service. Here, suppose your business calculated fields are built on the worker. So you will choose your business object as worker, sorry, employee, and then you'll put in any name. So now suppose if I have to add the date of birth in the new format, right? So I'll just put in the name as date of birth and I click OK. So now I'll show you the difference. So now if you see, if you scroll down, you see there is a service which has been added called the test service, right? Which is nothing but telling that you are adding override fields that is already existing fields are there, but you are adding few more because of the calculated fields you have created, and for that, how you configure that. Right, you see here, I have added this particular field override that is a test service, and inside that, I would have created a calculated field for date of birth format. I will use that field here in my integration system so that that particular date of birth comes in the format which I need. Is that making sense? What I'm doing?
Okay.
So now if you see, another column has been added here, which is the configure integration field overrides. Now if you click here, here you see define eligibility is always there, which we are gonna use it. It's fine. But there's one more field which has been added, which is called the test service, which I have just added. Now here, if you see that we have got a field automatically added for date of birth. Here I can choose any of my calculated fields, whatever I have created for date of birth. Right? If I don't know whether we can use something. So I'm using any field right now, which is like a calculated field which might have been created. So this is someone had created this calculated field, so I'm just using it. So now if you click OK, what will happen is in your output file, now there will be one more XML tag will be added, which is called the date of birth, new date of birth tag, which will print the value which is being printed in the date format mentioned in that particular calculated field. Is that making sense?
Mm.
Right, everybody?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Arun.
Yeah, Arun.
Right, so that is how you keep on adding the field override services. That is like I have added one, which is your date of birth I have added in this test service. So create one test service, create one configure integration service. Inside that you can use multiple fields like date of birth, anything kind of that. So for a particular business object, you can add one service and add the field. So now suppose you have created few calculated fields on employee, all those calculated fields you can use inside the test service field override, which I have created on a business object called employee. Suppose you have to use calculated fields which are built on dependent, add another field service called, let's say, test underscore anything else, and then choose a business object called dependent and add all the calculated fields which you have created on the dependent. Getting it?
Okay. Mm. So
You can.
it is a what is the scope of this field? It's a global or it is only for but that particular integration thing?
Again, the same concept as in the custom report, right? The primary business objects and the related business objects.
Okay.
Same concept, right? Whatever fields you are creating, that should be linked up with the primary business object. Then only it will come, right? So there is a
Okay.
limitation. If I just show you, there is a limitation. The limitation is that I'll add another service. Let's add another service where I can show you. So now if you see here, only these calculated field business objects here. This is the limitation. So for each core connector, Workday has put in a limitation that out of these business objects, if you're creating any calculated field, you can bring it on. That is the only limitation. In custom report, there is no limitation because any business object related to the primary business object, you can use it. But for core connectors, if you see, only these much business objects can be used for addition of those field overrides in your core connector. So you cannot add, like, suppose if for a primary business object there are 100 related business objects, that doesn't matter here. Here only the business objects which we are seeing here, if your calculated fields are based on these business objects, that only you can use and bring it onto the core connector level. Is that making sense?
Yeah, man.
Right? So that is the only limitation with core connector. That is, you cannot create calculated fields on any of the related business objects. You can only create the calculated fields which are present in the field override service. That's it.
Mm.
Right?
There's there's any reason behind this, Arun?
That's purely like for Workday. There's no reason. I think they didn't want it to be more customizable. That is why they had put in this restriction.
Arun, you mentioned that the one advantage of core connectors is that if there are any change in records for a specified duration, then we go with core connectors for integration purposes, right?
Sorry.
So one advantage of core connector is if there is any change in data, so we can fetch that change
Yeah.
based on the time frame, right? That's one of the advantage of core
Yes.
connectors over
Yes.
EIP. So is it possible that we can, because EIB is a custom report basically, so is it possible to include or configure the setup for EIB so that this is also included there, like to show change in
For EIBs,
uh,
if you want to make your EIB a change detection EIB, for each fields, whatever for each field, if you want to make a change detection, you have to create two calculated fields. One field which is lookup value as of, so there is one calculated field called the lookup value as of date. So that is like it extracts the value of that particular field on that particular date for which you are using it. So there will be two calculated fields which you'll be using, and one would be like the last successful run date, and one would be on the today's date, and then you'll put it in the filter that these two values are to be changed. If they are changed, then only put that value in the EIB custom.
Okay, so basically it's like field by field, then we'll have to do it. Whereas here, any change, it will automatically pick it up for
Yes,
any of the.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. And from your experience, like what is the percentage of these? How frequently do we use core connectors? Like in an implementation, how much do we use core connectors and how much do we use outbound EIB?
Typically, whenever there is a change detection, we always go for it.
Whenever change in reduction, what?
Whenever there is a change detection requirement, we always go for the core connectors. Until and
Repo.
unless if it cannot be achieved by core connector, then it's like hardly one or two integrations where we might go for this custom report change detection concept. Rather than everywhere, we go for the core connectors.
So even the change reduction is possible using core connectors.
Core connectors only change detection is possible. You don't have to worry about anything. For EIPs, you have to build a lot many calculated fields, but for core connectors, everything is configured by Workday itself.
What do you
So
mean
for
by
each field,
what do you mean by change reduction? For example, when the parent got changed, when the first
okay,
name last name got changed, those are all
yes.
considered as
So
a change reduction.
yeah, so now what happens is like suppose this integration ran on the 1st of the October, and the next, so the scheduling part is something like every first day of the month this integration will run, and it will only extract the records which are either changed or newly added. That is on the first October, what was the field value, and on the 1st November, what is the field value. If those values are changed, then
Mm.
put that record in the integration file.
Mhm. So
That is what
further,
is called the change.
for the further, the core connectors will give you all the necessary information for you to figure out that.
And whatever the fields you have chosen, it will only put in those values, but it will check for all the fields for which a worker data has been changed. So output
Can
will
you?
only contain the fields which you have chosen.
Where do you restrict that? How do you restrict that?
That's what we restricted, right? We had chosen the section first, and then in the fields, in the integration fields, we had chosen the field. So we see here, like when I went to the configure integration field attributes, here I have chosen only three things. One is the first name, middle name, and last name. That's it. So it will only print these values and nothing else.
But only those records got changed, right?
Not only these records, any record if it has been changed for worker, those employees' first name, last name, and middle name will come into
Yeah, I
integration
understand the
file.
requirement. I understand the requirement, but
Yeah.
this the one what you're showing is you are showing the first name, last name, and middle initial. I understand that too. But where the
Okay.
logic is residing, that will give you only the records which are changed in last 1 month.
Okay. So what
Where do you,
happens is, yeah, while you run this integration, so
uh,
integration, so how the integration is run, it's like you go to the integration and click on the launch. So once
uh,
you click launch, if you click OK, so here you will see the date parameters, right? Here you tell what is the date range, that is the last date which you want to select and the current date. So based on these date ranges, it will check whether the data has been changed or not.
So like a prompt.
Yeah, you can say it's like a prompt. And that's exactly what we do in the custom report. Suppose if you have to create a custom report change detection, so we will create two fields. One is like lookup value as of date for start date and lookup value as of date for end date. And then it will compare both the date value and compare whether it is changed or not. That's exactly what is being doing here. But automatically, we are not worrying about all the things.
So the core connectors, any core connectors you use and try to launch it, definitely it will ask for the date.
Yes, so there are two things to select. One is like you make the integration change detection. If you want to run it as a full, you select the full file.
Hmm.
Then what will happen is it will extract all the data irrespective whether any data has been changed or not. So if you select full file, then it is more like a custom report where all the data will come up. But if you give in the date parameters, then it will only extract the data which has been changed.
Suppose okay. I need to read it. I got it, but okay. Hmm.
Right, so I'll just show you, like if I change this record to, let's say, 2015, sorry, 2017. So what I'm doing is from 2017 to 24th of 2018, whatever records have been changed, it will come in the output file. But if I make it as a full file, then from the day Workday system was built, all the records will come.
Okay, where do you specify you want delta or you want the full refresh? Where do you specify
Here,
that?
once you run this, launch this integration, you get this option whether you choose the full file or you give the date parameters.
Oh, the full file is it's a prompt. Okay.
Yeah, it's a checkbox. You just have to select it. Here,
So
if
when
you
you
see
when you
full file, select.
when you choose a full file, that time you will not give the date range.
No, it will ignore that date range.
Okay. So what is the
Right?
core connector for worker? What is a worker? What is a worker? Huh? What is the name of the core
This
connector
is
for worker?
what we have chosen is the core character worker.
Worker.
Arun,
Yeah.
Arun, I have a question in this. See, we are selected core connector worker. So if
Yeah.
any field change in this, it will give output in change deduction, right?
Exactly.
If I want to work on limited fields, say for example,
Yeah.
if change in name, so can I do it that one also?
Yes, you can do it. I'll show you.
How do you, that's a good question, man. How do you do that?
Yeah, I'll just show.
So core connectors is comes under the integration module, right?
Yes, Bala.
Mm.
Exactly.
Actually, this is very important topic in terms of two applications is talking.
So how you can control is, first of all, you have to select. Let me show. You select the section called transaction log. So, okay, I'm sorry. So for core connector worker, this facility is not provided that we choose any specific particular field. It is related to when you build any core connector for payroll, then you choose any transactions. So for core connector worker, it sees any changes which has happened. So you can restrict it in a sense that when you create your eligibility tool, right, you can restrict it in that sense that select only those fields for which that. So if it is only related to one or two fields, then typically we don't go for the core connectors. We go for the EIVs and custom report. Reason being that you can directly create your calculated fields for lookup value as of date for those two three fields. But if it is for major, so typically what happens is like I mean, any change that is why core connector is being used. It's like on the bigger scale, right? On the bigger scale means if any data has been changed for a particular worker, put that in your output file. If not, then there is no need to go for it. But if there is
Okay.
any specific to like two or three fields, you can directly go to your EIVs and custom reports, and you can make those lookup value as of date and put it in your EIV and run it. But
So
core connector
Arun,
worker,
Arun, I have a small request, Arun. Can you, I mean,
yes,
whatever the question that we are working on, right? So I just want, I'll give you a date from this date to this date. If anybody's
okay,
last name got changed, I want
yes.
their information. Okay. How do you do in the reporting? What are the BOs you use it? Do you use any action events?
For if you are making this change detection custom.
Yeah, I want to do some change detection thing using custom reports, right?
Okay.
Uh, how do you, I mean, I don't know what BOs are involved in that, man.
No, there is no worry. No, don't worry about the BO. So what is happening is since you will be using as a filter section in the filter section, so your calculated fields should always be on the worker business object. Then only it will come in the filter, or else it will not come in the filter, right? So the first
Right.
criteria is that whenever you are creating your custom report as a change detection, all your lookup value as of date calculated fields should be built on the worker level only. That's the first condition because then only you can put it in the filter. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm.
how do you do that? So you will create two calculated fields for each type of field for your making a change detection. Let's say we are doing it for like the first name, right? So you will create two calculated fields. So if I click on create calculated field, I'll just put in a name. So this is the field which we have to choose, that is lookup value as of date. When I click OK, so suppose I'm choosing it for first name. I'll put this. Now here I will tell what is the effective date you have to give in. So either you can add a prompt. So let's say I'm using a prompt one. So I'm just using a prompt date one. So for effective and entry, both the same prompt.
Do I same
So
prompt?
now what I'm that we will add in the custom report, right? I'll
No.
show you how.
No,
Sorry.
why it is both same effective date and the entry date?
Yeah, that's what
What?
I said. So what happens now? See the difference between entry and effective date. The name is very clear, right? So what happens is in Workday, you create something and you can put the effective date as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
suppose I'm creating a supervisory organization, I can still put the effective date as well. That let this be effective from the next month, correct?
Okay. Uh-huh.
So your entry date would be today,
Uh-huh.
right? That
Uh-huh.
is when I'm creating, and your effective date is when it will be effective,
Okay.
correct? So now this is how core connector or any change detection things work. That first of all, Workday will check whether it has been entered in the particular time duration or not.
Mm, mm,
Right?
mm,
If it is entered in the prime duration, it will come up into the output file.
mm,
But if it is not entered here, but if it is effective in this date range, it will
mm.
come into your output
Okay.
file. Right?
Okay.
So
Mm,
either based on either the entry date or effective date, it will select the data.
mm, mm, mm,
Correct?
mm.
So now I have created one calculated field for for prompt date one. Similarly, I'll create another calculated field. So I'll just copy this field.
For the end data, this is for a start date. The next is for end date, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So here I will use second prompt.
And what is
That
your
is
function?
wrong.
What is your function?
Function was lookup
Lookup
value as
related
of date.
value.
No, lookup value as of date.
Hmm.
What was the first one? Lookup value. What was the first value?
I'll just show. I'll just show. So what I've done is I have created two calculated fields. One is so first calculated field which I created, the function of that calculated field is lookup value as of date, right? So my both the calculated fields will be built on lookup value as of date only. But the only difference would be this prompt. So one will be like a start date prompt and another will be an end date.
Hmm.
Getting it?
Okay.
So I'll show the
So
difference.
I mean, it's less than. I mean, reality is greater than the prompt one and less than the prompt two, right?
Yes.
No. I didn't get Bala what you said.
No, the logic is greater than or equal to the prompt one, less than or equal to prompt two.
No, logic
Those
is not equal to prompt date one value and prompt date two value are not same. See, what is change detection? Change detection means that our data has been changed. So now I have created two cal fields, right? The name on the prompt date one and the name on the prompt date two. Correct? These are the two calculated fields which I have created. Now what will Workday do is on that prompt date one, what was the name value, and on the prompt date two, what is the name value? If it is not same, that
Oh.
means the data has been correct.
no, my requirement is the last month from September 1st to 30th September. What if the last name got changed? Then I want the report.
So that is what
You
I'm
got
saying, right?
Both is
So
the
that
same,
is
Bala.
so
no, but are not same, right? Because I'm saying from September 1st to 30th September, an
Hmm.
instance can be changed at September 1st, or it could be changed on September 10th, or it could be September 25th.
Okay.
exactly. So now
I'm
think
not.
of it. So now think of
I'm
it. That's exactly what I'm doing, Bala. That's exactly what I'm doing.
range,
Let's
range,
just
I'm giving a range, right?
yeah. Let me just show it theoretically, and then you'll be able to understand. So let's say so right now we have created two calculated fields, right? Name on prompt date one,
Uh-huh.
correct, and another is name on prompt date two, right? These are the two
Yes,
calculated fields, correct? Now
right.
now take this. So we are running. We are putting the prompt date one as let's say
I know, man.
zero
You will
one.
do. You will put in the filter condition.
Yes, but your question to your question which you're asking, I'll just explain you that.
Right. Go ahead, go ahead.
So this is the date range. Suppose the prompt date one value was 1st October and prompt date two value is 1st of November, right? So how this workday will do is first it will fetch the value of the name on the 1st of the October, right? What was the
Hmm.
name on the 1st of the October, and then
Hmm.
it will extract the value of the name on the date of 1st of November. Correct. So in
Hmm.
between, like suppose the name has been changed on 11th of October or maybe on 25th of October, whatever it is, but on 11th, 1st of November, the updated name will come. Correct.
Hmm. Hmm.
Getting it?
Yeah.
And that is how you make the changes. That is now in the filter you will say this particular cal field is not equal to this particular cal field.
But if the name is changed, for example, on 1st October, my name is Bala. On
Okay.
10th October, my name becomes Ramesh. On
Yeah.
1st November, my name becomes Bala again. I'm just hypothetical. So, is the
Yeah. Correct.
change deduction will be sensed or not?
It will it so on the 1st of November, if it is updated, if it is effective, then it will not come.
Hmm.
Reason being so see this is a totally correct hypothetical situation, but what happens is why this data is being sent to the vendor so that they can update it on the day of their processing. If there is no change for the vendors, then there is no point in sending the record to them, right? So on 1st of November, if your name is showing Bala, then there was no point in sending him the record that
No,
okay his name was changed
no,
on 2nd of October.
I may be interested
But
in a change
where it
direction,
will come,
any attempt, for
where it will
example.
come, I'll tell you. Where it will come, Bala, where it will have the impact is when we'll be talking about payroll integrations, when we'll be talking about those things. Reason being, in payroll integration, it can happen like this: that on 1st of October, your salary is say 1 lakh rupees. On 7th of October, your salary became 10 lakh rupees. On 22nd of October, your salary became 15 lakhs rupees. And on 1st of November, your salary became 22 lakhs rupees. Right? Suppose this is the situation, correct? Or maybe on 1st of November, your salary became 1 lakh again. So what will happen is, now there is the changes, but there is no change on the 1st of the November, because you are back on the same salary which you are getting on the 1st of October, right?
Yes.
So all
Uh-huh.
those payroll integrations, how they do is they extract all the changes which have happened in those time durations, all the changes.
Mm, mm,
Getting it? So for
mm.
core connector workers, it's only seeing the changes on the last day and on the today's date. But there is one more thing which we'll cover. It's called the Vechi. So right now we are talking about the core connector worker, which is the core connectors. Workday has implemented another thing which is called Vechi, WECI. So worker
What,
effective changes
what,
interface.
what is the second thing? You're dropping me.
WECI, WECI, that is Worker Effective Changes Interface or I mean, I'm not sure about this I, but this is another type of integration which Workday has created. So what it will do is like, now in this date ranges, any number of changes which has happened will reflect in your SAM output file.
Mm, mm,
The question which you had asked, right? On the 10th
mm.
it had changed, but on again first you reverted back. It will pick all those changes in your output file. But in the simple core connectors, it will only compare whether the value has been changed today or not.
Today means you are saying the prompt two, right?
Yeah, on 1st of November,
Mm, mm,
right? If there is a
mm,
change, put it in the value. If there is no change, don't worry. But in WECI, this is the flexibility which Workday has given, that then it will extract all the changes whatever has happened in between. So if suppose you have changed your name 4 times and reverted back on the first name on the 1st of November, it will extract all those 4 name changes and put it in the output file.
mm, mm, mm.
Right? So that we'll see. But till now, this particular Vechi is not available for everybody. It's still in those like building phase, or it's still being implemented but not being used officially till in like major integrations. Till now, this is the same concept which is being working on the core connector worker concept.
Mm, mm, mm. Okay. So with the help of I mean, you just created two calculated fields, right?
Calculate.
So, so
Yeah,
that
and
is
in the
that
filter, I will say,
that's the
in
same
the
logic
filter,
that
I'll
we.
say, yeah, that's the same logic. So in the filter, I'll just say that name from date 1 is not equal to name from date 2.
So it can be extended to RBOs too, right? In case if you want to.
But you will not be able to put it in the filter, right? Your then you have to go for those lookup related value calculated fields and then put it as a lookup value as of date source.
Oh, what about sub filters?
Sub filter will not remove the rows, right?
Right, right, right. Sub filter will not remove. Yes, I got it. Mm,
Correct.
mm. It
So
will not
for
remove the
that,
prime. Mm,
so now suppose dependent first name change if you have to detect. So what is the concept we do? Like we create the ESI and then we create the LRV, correct? So
mm,
that we bring it onto the worker level, right?
mm, mm, mm. Got
So
it, man.
then we will choose that calculated field as a part of our source for lookup value as of date.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of things need to be. I need to read it. Okay, okay.
Right? So so I hope so. This
So
is the major thing which
Arun, this will
yeah.
give new additions records also.
Sorry.
It
Yes, it will.
will this
Reason being, on the last day of the month, this record would not have existed. So that would come as blank.
okay.
So that is also changed, right?
Yeah.
That is all.
So, so
So
I'm the, the
Making,
if you want to give Bala, Arun, say
yeah.
for example, I am implementing application. like SAP and Workday, and SAP required 5 fields from Workday. So this Workday as a primary application where I'm entering employees data, and I'm sending this whatever data change in the month to a SAP, right? So if there are 5 fields like first name, middle name, last name, is join date or separation date. So if I want
Okay.
to find the changes in these 5 fields, I have to add 5 filters.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. And that too all would be in and. Sorry, or would be in or.
Okay.
Any of those
Or
conditions,
yeah.
if it is counted, it will reflect in the
So
or.
there should be, I think, 10 filters and or all are using or conditions.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
working on one
And
single
that is
report for
why
a
I
couple
told,
of
like,
months.
Okay.
that is why I told it is a bit difficult when you have to make a change detection custom report for 100 fields. Then, so you have to create
Hmm.
200 fields on lookup value as of date,
Oh,
right? And put
Jobs,
it in your filter
job security, man.
section. No, I created 110 calculated 110 fields inspection in my.
Okay.
So you, but that is like that's what I told, right? That is like one or two situations I have faced till now in like 6 years of Workday career. Everything has been tackled in core connectors itself, but sometimes what happens is like you may not get everything in what the customer is required. Then you go for the custom calculated custom reports and put all those lookup values as of date and put it in the
Yeah, send me some document, Arun, please. Right?
related to.
Core
core connectors.
connectors, man. See,
Okay,
Actually, report topic and core connectors is very vast topic, I think so. And
yeah.
for
See,
understanding this, we
Arun,
required external documents.
right. Yes, exactly. So, Arun, how it working out for me is you are giving an introduction to this and you are giving, you are covering the major points which I need to know to read a document.
okay,
Right. So I'm not finding fault on anybody, but you can't go very deep like how the document could go, right?
correct.
But your input insights and input are very much needed to go inside the document, right? So far I'm a little bit slow, but I'm going very deep into the reports and stuff like that. So your class is really helpful, but I hope I got a good document on the reports, but I don't know whether I got a good document on the integration stuff and core connectors, man, right? So I need your help, man. I mean,
Okay, I just give me a second. I'm just looking into it if I have anything.
yeah, please send if you are able to send me the core connectors documentation, tutorial or whatever, right? That will be great helpful, man.
Okay, I'll just check if I have, and I'll forward it.
I'm sure you have it, man.
It's not in the PDF. I mean, I did it like 6 years back. I don't know where I kept that booklet for integrations. Uh, but I don't have anything as a PDF. I'm trying to search, and I'll ask my friend to search in it in the community, who has the community access, and I'll ask him to download if he can download it, and so that I can forward it,
Yeah, please, yeah, okay.
right?
I don't have anybody else to go and ask, man. That's the main problem. Otherwise, I could have,
No,
right?
definitely, I understand. I'll definitely see if I can grab that for you.
Okay, okay, guys.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah, Arun.
thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Arun.
all.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Bala.